40K in it from the car again. There's a guy that commented, I'm sorry I haven't, on one of the videos about Ravenguard, and I'm sorry I haven't got back with you. This is what this video is kind of about, is hey, if I was building a list, I wouldn't be building it for 10th edition at the moment. I would be building it for 11th. And with that in mind, well, if you can comment on this if you want a 10th edition list, but I'm not gonna touch 10th edition right now since we're so close to 11th. And here's what's exciting me about 11th from the Ravenguard perspective, and that's that new Vanguard kit, because it looks like they're gonna give them a little more lethality with their weapon. You remember the 511 profile with lethal hits? It looks like we might be getting a 522 profile with lethals. You put that with strike, and maybe they have something else. The models, yeah, okay, there might not be that much different than jump packs, but hey, they're not like too bad. So any Ravenguard list, 10th or 11th, you're gonna have Shrike and the me 8th and Sean in there. Shrike's gonna be leading a unit because some of his abilities are contingent on him leading those units. The lone op stuff, the uppy downy stuff is nice. He can do that without him or not, but you can give a whole unit that. Vanguard vets also give him the lethal hits with his precision, and it's going to be a good little unit there. Then we have to figure out what they mean by these these melding of detachments or being able to take but one way or the other. My list building usually is a militaristic type list, like I'm talking about US military kind of doctrines or whatnot. So I'm going to have my recon type elements. I'm going to have my main element of, like in this case, where we're going to look at more melee versions of fighting, putting together a list that has a big brick of maybe assault terminators or something like that. The Vanguard vets now, if they are 5.52 with lethals, you run a unit of those with Shrike, you run a unit with Jump Captain, you got a couple of big bricks of hitting units. Then you're going to need a little bit of firepower because you need some anti-tank. So to me, Vindicator tank is, now there's the way the train looks like, it's still a pretty good option. If you can, depending on what detachments you can put forth, maybe you still run a Lancer. But the firing lanes on some of these new train layouts don't look all that great. So, and the way cover is now, I don't know. So we have to wait for that. I've even seen some things with like maybe indirect fire just because the way cover is changing. But anyway, the overall gist of it for a Ravenguard perspective is I like the jump pack guys now. Those Vanguard vets, and then jump intercessors aren't that bad either. I mean, those are still mortal. So you're running around these units, you're running with a hard hitting unit. Maybe you're running Eradicators. Maybe not the bolters, but Melt does for anti-tank stuff. I still like shoot, what am I thinking? I still like why the biologists attached to the aggressors, because of lethal hits and because of the blast weapons. I still like those guys. Of course, if you're running Aethan and you're running Shadow Mark Talon, and then see how we don't know how the detachments are going to meld together, but Shadow Mark Talon, you need Aethan to utilize some of this other stuff, and you lose your ability to do the sabotage, so you're going to need intercessors. So you want a squad of intercessors in there. That's to begin with. And I like the Terminator brick. I've ran it in the 10th with the Ancient and the Captain. That's up to you. Thunderhammers, and I like the Claws. I think Claws I like melding those two, but I like the aesthetic of Claws, and I think if you run a Chaplain with Claws, they're pretty good. If you run a Librarian, all of a sudden you got these lethal hits. Or you run half and half and you run a Librarian. I mean, there's ways to do it. It's just kind of your flavor. I've successfully won a tournament with the Captain and the Ancient in the Vanguard Spearhead. If I'm running Shadow Mark Talon, I'm probably just going to go with the Libby or the Chaplain. The reason I run the Captain in the other one is because you get the free charge phase reactive move, and that's dirty. And that's why I like one of the top reasons I like Vanguard Spearhead, plus the sabotage sticky objectives. But anyway, that's what I would put on there. And right now, like I said, waiting for 11th. So I wouldn't even worry about building your 10th edition Ravenguard list. I would be focusing on 11th, especially if you've just started building it. By the time you get the models and get them painted, 11th's here, man. So Vanguard Vets, top. Aggressors, Biologists, Terminator Brick, maybe some Eradicators, Vindicator Tank, Intercessors, 8th and Sean. Oh, and then still a Lieutenant with Combi or a Scout Squad, however points line up. Then another Vanguard Vet Squad with the Captain. I like that I'd run Shield in the Thunderhammer, why the hell not, right? You think about that, 522 goes to 622 on the charge with the Jump Captain. Now you're looking at some serious stuff, some breaking points. Anyway, all right, peace.